right, guys, we're back again with another great episode of PFREI, a passion for real estate investments. I'm your host, Fuquan Bilal. Today we have Tom Zeeb. Did I say that right? Zeb?
You did, Zeeb. You got it.
Tom Zeeb. Awesome. I was just joking with him before the show. He said he does Sarasota and Washington, D.C., right? Is your marketplace. And I was like, I see the 10 Sarasota. I was just down there a week before last. We went to Triumph. I don't know if you ever heard of Triumph. It's a obstacle course that has zip lining, climbing, all types of crazy stuff. I took me and my two boys. We were the only one that finished the course. It's 5 different courses. We were the only one. Man, it was like 110 degrees. It was 2 Saturdays ago. It was crazy, crazy hot. So I can see the tan. Looks good on you. So welcome to the show, man.
Thanks. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
So I know that you're adventurous as well. I see. I was reading your bio and it says you had a near-death experience doing whitewater rafting.
Yeah.
Wow, and I love whitewater rafting.
I do too. I still do. Even near death aside, I still love it. It's still a great thing. You're gonna, it's like kind of like with investing. You're gonna do something adventurous and edgy. There's a risk to it as well. But if you control for that, you're in much better shape.
You have to learn how to navigate the narrows.
Exactly. But my first time didn't go that smooth, that I wound up navigating under the water instead of over it. So
what level was it? 2, 3 rapids? What was it?
No, it was a class 5 that took me over the edge.
Wow, you went on a 5 the first time you went?
Wow. Yeah, maybe not all that wise.
Wow, that's pretty ballsy, dude. I'm just transitioning from 3 to 4, and I think we went like 3 or 4 times already, ironically. So, nice. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. I wanted to have you on the show to kind of get your take on what's happening in the market. I know your strategy is wholesaling, and I know some guys personally. I'm in a mastermind with some guys that were wholesaling, and Q4, Q3 last year they got hit pretty hard. Things slowed down in the marketplace. Wasn't so much in abundance. It was the disposition line that slows down, right? So first it was the acquisitions that was a problem because it became a seller's market. And then after Q3, Q4, things slowed down. Still was acquisitions a little bit, but it was more dispositions because those end buyers couldn't find the financing they needed, the things they needed to sell the properties. So what I started to see was people in your space started to get more creative and maybe doing owner financing or subject to deals or something like that. So let's just start off and talk about that, the challenges that wholesalers are having in this current marketplace or had in transitioning out. What is the new strategy?
Yeah, I'll tell you, wholesaling's just an exit strategy, like all the others. It's a choice of how you're choosing to get paid and how you're choosing to get out of the deal, but you still need to get into the deal. And we all get into the deals the same way. We got to market to find them, and we got to negotiate to make them. So sometimes I think people get wrapped up in the exit strategy. As a wholesaler, I basically just focus on finding good deals, finding them, negotiating them. And then rather than take the time to rehab it myself, or rather than take the time to manage the property over time or deal with tenants, I just sell my position out to somebody else.
Yeah. Are you doing any novations?
Any novations?
Novations, yeah. Have you ever heard of that? Novations is basically you get the property under contract, you do a novation agreement, which it's sort of like the old style. And back in the day, what I used to do is get the property under contract, figure out the number the seller wanted, and then say, hey, listen, I'm going to give you X amount at closing, but we're going to put the property in a trust, right? Basically, I'm going to become the beneficiary of the trust, and then I'm going to rehab it. That way we don't have any encumbrance on title, right? It gets out of your name into the trust name. I'm going to rehab it. You're still promised this amount in the back end. I'm going to sell it. And then, we're both going to profit. That was one strategy. What I see guys doing now is a novation piece. They're taking the novation agreement. They're putting the property under contract. Same strategy. It goes into the novation agreement gives you the ability to market it, to list it, to do whatever, right? And then you can go in and do your renovations, sell it, and the seller still gets paid. This works for sellers who have properties that's not fully rehabbed, and they can get a little more. And basically you go in, put a deposit down, novation agreement, renovate it, sell it, and both of you guys get the bag at the end.
That's,
And
that's interesting because I've never specifically heard that term, but I've done that kind of deal. My attorneys call it a division of proceeds
okay,
agreement.
okay.
A little less, it has a really boring, bland name, a little less trendy than yours.
Division of proceeds. Yeah,
Division of proceeds,
that's
boring.
creative. Hey
Yeah.
man, whichever way you could be creative. Are you doing any owner finance subject to your end buyer now in this
Yes,
market?
and more of that's coming right now, which I'm really excited about because it brings back some of the classic real estate investor, creative deal maker kind of stuff. So I'm happy to see that because as the market gets a little crazier and therefore not as easy for people to just list it and sell it traditionally, they have no choice but to come to people like us, come to creative real estate investors that can actually help them now.
You got to get that Texas Instrument back out, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You better explain that one to the kids.
Calculations, right?
Yeah, a calculator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, calculator. Hey, so why are you passionate for real estate investment?
Huh. You know, it sounds like a total cliche because it totally, absolutely changed my life and got me out of where I was. I was miserable working a day job, working 9 to 5 for somebody else and taking orders, and I I had no idea how to get out. And there's not many things that when you've kind of gone down one career path, it's really hard to change over to another one, with one exception, real estate. It's open to you. You can get into it at any time if you just choose to focus on it. Doesn't matter what your background is, what your degree is, where you're from. None of that matters. Nothing matters. Just getting in there and doing it is what matters. That's the only thing. And so I'm passionate about it because I've seen what it does for me. I've seen what it does to people that I coach. I've seen what it does for members of my real estate investor association. And I watch all this stuff just be groovy. It's just groovy. I love it that way.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I like it also because you never know everything, right? You always learning new things. No matter, I've been in the business for 24 years and I'm still learning new stuff about this business. I'm like, wow, it's like a puzzle almost, right? Keeps you excited about it. So what are some of the things you're doing now to make a pivot in your strategy? Is it just to sell a finance piece? Is it just to create a financing on the end? Are you having any challenges with the disposition line? How are you being creative, getting that back up and running again with the buyers who can't find the financing? Like what's
Yeah.
happening with that?
Look, I would say all of it is honestly, it's less of a pivot and more of a double down, triple down
Mhm.
on the basics. As boring as that sounds, get back to the fundamental basics of marketing, and then always the fundamental basics of negotiation. And then that gets you the deals, and then that gets you the leads that you turn into making the deals that you then, in my case, sell to somebody else, or in anyone else's case, just do whichever extra strategy you want. But it's not. I don't think there needs to be any major pivot to something bizarre or something new or shiny. I literally think the fundamentals are more important than ever.
I can agree. What are some of the tools you're utilizing for lead gen? Are you doing texting, phone calls, emailing, cold calls, mail,
Yeah,
mail
three
campaign?
three main ways. There's always classic direct mail, postcards, letters. Like almost old-fashioned mailing campaigns have always done well for me. Networking, making sure you're talking to people and you're building your network of people that can refer people to you, and an app called Deal Machine. The Deal Machine app has been
Yes.
great for driving for deals.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the deal machine. The guys who run that is in my mastermind, Collective Jam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I know that you kind of help those who who just getting started. A lot of people see real estate and they see the flashy part of it, right? They see the cars, the house. They're like, oh, I want to do real estate. I want to make money. But I mean, the reality is, every business is a tough business. Is how you roll up your sleeves and get busy, and what you put into it is what you get out of it. But
yep,
I know you're helping people, invest at all levels, get their business built to rebuild correctly, so their personal goals and lifestyle stays in the center of everything they do. Giving them more money, more time, and more freedom
yep.
to spend as they please. So what does that program look like? What do you do to help people? We have some people who's going to listen to this who want to get started, don't know where to turn or who to collaborate with. Could you just give us an idea what that looks like, what type of mentor you're doing or something like that?
Yeah. If I got someone coming to me that's brand new to the business, then the first thing I got to do is get them in front of potentially motivated sellers and get them some practice. get them talking, get them used to using the terminology that we use, get them used to asking questions, because it gets them over the shyness, the fear factor of I don't know, thinking these motivated sellers are going to jump through the phone and bite them. No, it just after I kind of put you through, it's almost like a boot camp, get you talking to people, that fear goes away and you build a quiet confidence inside of you, which is going to make the negotiations you get into a whole heck of a lot easier.
Yeah. So you go through that, and then how long is that training? Is it just like is it like a Zoom call you're doing, or is it like a training kit? They answer questions online, or what does that look like?
I do my training for a year.
Okay.
There's monthly Zooms, and then there's also monthly phone calls. That way I've got 2 touch points every month with people. So they're given assignments, given things to do, and you're expected to report back. And so look, there's people that procrastinate. So, some people come right out of the gate, get it done. Other people, a month goes by, 2 months goes by. Oh, it's not working. Well, let me see. How many calls have you made? How many people have you actually spoken to? And when the answer is none, it's really easy to know what the problem is. And so then it's my job as coaches to say, all right, come on, let me give you a challenge. Make 3 calls, make 5 calls, do something, report back to me tomorrow. Let's get this done. Let's get it moving, because it's almost like a little shock treatment for some people. That'll motivate them. Other people, they self-motivate at the beginning, they get moving fast. And then it's my job to answer the questions when they get stuck at a roadblock or a hurdle that they don't know how to overcome on their own.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know any coaches. I'm actually training for a marathon, and I have a coach. And my son said, "What do you need a coach for? You run all the time. You're running since high school." And I said, "You don't get it. It's that accountability factor. That if I have to report to someone and I have to give status on what I'm doing and how I perform, it makes me accountable. And I need that. If I don't have that, it's like going to the gym and working out by yourself. You'll get it done, but if you go with a partner, you'll get more done, right? So
there's something about it.
Accountability. Absolutely.
Yep. Every pro athlete has a coach, right? The coach ain't the superstar necessarily, but they bring the best out of the pro athlete. So there's a reason for that. You don't have to look any further than those examples to know, all right, there's something there. Why can't we take that same idea and use it as real estate investors?
That's the same analogy I gave him. I said, when you were running track, didn't your coach bring the best out of you? You think you would have been as good as you were without him pushing you and having faith in you and giving you that confidence? No, he's like, oh, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where can people find you at? I mean, you want to post a link or something where people can find more information about the training, wholesaling? I know this is just one part of the business that is a low barrier to entry, whatever it is, where people can actually get in and get started. I mean, you need some money to put deposits down, but you need a great deal of money as if you was going to do fix and flip on a house. And I'm pretty sure you have people refer deals to you, and you probably split the bag with them or something like that. So I know you're on Facebook, Tom Zeeb, Zeeb, but is there like a site people can go to? I know you have a YouTube channel also, Traction Real Estate Mentors. Is that it?
Yeah, I've got a lot of good training videos there. Honestly, the best way to make sure you have everything is go to tomzeeb.com. So TOM, Z as in zebra, B as in boy.com. There's a podcast there that's focused specifically on negotiation. There's a lot of extra kind of free downloads and gifts and bonuses that you can get a good value out of, understand what's happening, and then just follow through. You like more, watch more videos, listen to more podcasts. And there's a lot of my general training style is I don't hold anything back. So the stuff I have on the website, I'm not charging anything for it, but you'll get an enormous amount out of it. And then if you like that and want more, there's ways there to contact me and we could talk more.
Yeah, I see the bonus you have here, the negotiation trifecta, which is a bonus training. I'm on the site now, buddy, taking a look at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice site. Yeah, you guys can go check it out. TomZeeb, Zeeb.com. If you're new, you're just getting started, you want to find more about wholesale, probably some great podcasts here also, get traction. Please check that out. Thanks for coming on the show, man. I appreciate the value add. My job is to introduce you to my guests. I got a lot of people who reach out to me from time to time, want to learn how to get started in a business. And I don't really have the capacity to do mentoring. So I use social media just like as a hub to like answer people questions. But when I have people like you, that want to come on a podcast, I always want to introduce them to people like you who actually have those mentorship programs set up so they could benefit. So I appreciate you coming on the platform and adding value today, man.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. All right, guys, another great episode of PFREI, Passion for Real Estate Investments. You can catch us on all the social media channels and where you can find wherever you have your podcasts at. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys.